Usually we have a pest of the week segment. This time of year, we've got, I guess this should really be pests of the week. Because what all of us have done, most of us have done, is we've brought our tropicals and things that we had out on the patio or somewhere in the yard indoors so they can survive through the winter. But when we do that, we can tend to bring all the pests that were on those plants indoors as well.
That's right. So we've had them in a house. We've probably brought them in around the 1st of November. That was kind of our first big freeze. I think we got down to 25, 26 in locations. So if you didn't bring them in before that, you don't have to worry about it now. But right. Yeah, we've brought them in, and we're in the middle of November now. So I think they've kind of settled in a little. You took them into the harsh, the conditions outside, which were decent, brought them into the harsh indoor conditions that are a little different. So the insects probably will be moving around a little bit if they're spider mites or aphids or mealy bugs. You'll start noticing more and more. But yeah, I mean they're kind of starting to move a little bit if they are mobile, insect-wise.
And you've invited them into your home.
Yep, you brought them into warm areas.
So one of those you might notice would be like this. This is spider mite damage. It's kind of like this sandblasted look on the leaves. That's from their piercing sucking. Right, they suck the juices out of there, and they're these little guys here. They're kind of micro. They're hard to see.
They are hard to see.
The damage.
So they're pretty mobile. They're kind of like an aphid, and we think they're not that mobile. We can usually spray them with a stream of water. They can fall off and get, but they're mobile compared to like a mealy bug or something that is attached to like a scale where they're not going to be mobile. So if you start seeing little creepy crawlies around the plant or around the pot, or even on the leaves, you more likely are seeing an aphid or a spider mite that you probably will be noticing. I don't think they're doing a lot of damage to the plants. From the plant standpoint, we don't have to worry too awful much.
They're kind of dormant.
They're kind of just sitting there. Right. But Tom's indoor plants are different from mine. I have like ZZ plants and more of a traditional indoor plants that that you bring inside. That I'll take outside. I don't leave any indoor plants inside during the summer. So I'll take everything outside and then bring everything back in that I want to save. I think you're referring to like your hibiscus or other Persian shield ferns that you don't want to freeze out, so you're going to bring inside. So those plants, I didn't notice a lot of pests on mine when I brought them in, but I do again have the traditional corn plants, your ivies, your things like that that don't get a lot of pests per se. You're talking about hibiscus; they tend to attract a lot of different things to them.
Right.
So
we brought them into our house. Keep our eyes out for activity, but then control. It's not a harsh control.
It's not. I mean, we're still talking about oils. Insecticidal soaps, neem oils, kind of some dormant oils.
Safe, organic.
Yeah, soft insecticides that aren't going to hurt a lot of things. If we bring them inside the house, they're not going to harm us by any means. So,
which is a concern if we got little kids and pets and stuff. We don't want them out there.
Anything like that. So, yeah, I mean, just depends if you're seeing a lot. You see the crawlies, or you start seeing some leaf drop that, again, is normal bringing these plants outside in, but you start inspecting and start seeing some white cottony scale or some mealy bugs or even some honeydew we've talked in previous episodes. Right. A lot of the insects that are feeding are going to feed and excrete honeydew, so we may be seeing some sticky substances. That's all signs of the insects that may be feeding inside now that we've got them in. So inspect them a little bit more. Wait on a weekend. That's somewhat nice. You can take everything outside, wash them down, water everything good, and then spray them down with the neem oil or insecticidal soap. See if that, and then bring them back inside.
Now you mentioned earlier that's not necessarily a one and done thing. Something you're going to have to repeat.
Probably is a good idea to repeat. You probably won't get a full coverage, and maybe you have some eggs or something that where it doesn't quite control them. So come back every 2 weeks. Until we start seeing a definite decrease in the amount of honeydew we're seeing or spider mite activity or aphid activity. So, yeah, good idea to probably check them and at least plan on coming back in a couple weeks and doing it again. Right. And then you're probably good for the season until you're ready to start taking them outside again.
Right.
Yeah. So just again to be aware of, kind of look around. When we bring plants from the outside in, we don't necessarily want to grow them a lot. So we're not going to fertilize indoor plants a lot. We're going to kind of do the minimum to keep them alive. If you want to put indoor lights in there, you can to keep them, a little more healthy. But we're trying to sustain them until we can get them back outside. At least I am when I'm looking at indoor plants.
Right.
So pretty simple. Just kind of scout and pest and look around, and if you got any questions on specific insects that you're seeing on the plants, snap a shot, send them to us, and we'll see if we can get them identified.
Well, bottom line, they're pretty easy to control.
Yeah.
And you don't have to use a nuclear option. You can use one of, like you said, the softer pesticides to take care of it.
Yeah, and some of the soft, like I mentioned aphids before, just bringing them indoors is gonna kind of slow them down.
Right.
They're not going to continue a very good life cycle
Right.
Indoors. So
Right.
yep, keep them in keep them in the back of your mind. Keep an eye on them.
Be aware.
Be aware.